Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Midrank Madness. This is a game between Apotat and Hansl on Galactic Process, the latter edition. In the top right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Hansl from LG Team. Pretty cool spinning logo there. Looks like a cat or a Fusa or something. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is Apotat, part of the Drunk Harbor. That's a good name too, with an awesome logo. All right, two very, very solid logos matched up against each other here today. So this is Midrank Madness. Those of you who are not familiar with this is my examination of gold, platinum, and diamond level replays. Sometimes a master level replay sneaks in here, but usually it's those three. And this was sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Midrank Madness. I sent it along with about 30 other replays to my screeners. They found the best ones and voted on them, and those are the ones I am casting. Special thanks to Spencer, to Josh, Cruncher, Jaden, Dawn especially, Jeff, Bill, Antonio, Jarrett, Hakan, and Zeke. All of these people have been very instrumental in Midrank Madness games in the past. Just wonderful work from all of those fellows. Also had people trying to contact Korean players to get replays from them over Twitter. That really hasn't amounted to much, unfortunately, so if you speak Korean and you're willing to give it a shot, talk to some of these guys, get some ladder matches, some practice matches off of them, so I'm not always casting things that have previously been cast, I'd appreciate it. I mean, shoot me an email at falconpaladin@gmail.com if you have anything to offer there. Anyway, it looks like it is a Reaper. It is a Reaper expand out of Apotat. I have my list ready to go, and this Reaper's name is Norman Reapus. I don't know if that's a play on words. These things usually are, but Norman Reapus, what Normans do I know of? I know about Norm, the robot from Phineas and Ferb. Professor Doofenshmirtz's robot, Norm, who doesn't, I mean, it seems very friendly, but at the same time is also pretty dangerous and doesn't seem to like Dr. Doofenshmirtz all that much, which I can't necessarily blame him for. Anyway, this is Norman Reapus. I don't know why I keep getting Silence of the Lambs in my head. Is that the name? Is that the first name of a character in that movie? I don't know. Anyway, Norman woke up this morning, strapped on his jetpack, said goodbye to his best friend in the whole wide world, whose name is John, and said, "I'll be back, I promise." And John said, "Man, you're a Reaper. Every time you go to work, I worry you're going to die." Look at this, gonna get a drone kill. Oh, gets the drone kill last second before that spore crawler comes up. Another drone kill just before something can come up. This Reaper is absolutely laying waste. Okay, that one finally did make itself into a spore. Holy smokes, 2 drone kills. Gonna get three drone kills and survive. Oh my gosh, free drones here too. No, very smartly gets out of there, just barely escaping with 5 hit points as that queen tried to kill him. But 3 drone kills on that dude. Wow. Nicely done, Norman Reapus. You are a hero in the making right now. You did a full scout on the Zerg. These lings trying to find you, but you are down here on the low ground with combat drugs healing you back up to 60 hit points, which is a good feeling. I'm sure it feels very, very nice for that to happen. Terran player, meanwhile, is getting a starport, getting a bunker. The bunker at the front. I'm not sure if that's a great place for it. Ling run by is just kind of get into your mineral line and lay waste to you, but anyway, there it is. Get the heck on out. Those are speedlings. They are dangerous for you, Norman. Don't try to go back in there again unless you are the superhero that we've been waiting for. Whoa, 3-minute lair out of Hansl. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Command center is turning itself into an orbital command bunker full of Marines. One on the outside, looking on in. And that's a lot of lings, actually. Did he also get 2 ling kills? Where are you? Where are you? No, he didn't. It must have been some scouting attempts earlier, but yeah, so those are 10 lings out of Hansl, which, I mean, you got to use them. Run around, scout around, try to get some pressure on. If they just sit in your base, they are worthless to you. Roaches here. Yeah, you want to have some for defense, but you have to scout an attack coming first. I like the placement of the Overlord. See how it's not being spotted by the Terran player? That's a good place to do it, over some high ground right there. Norman is thinking about it. He's considering his options. He's trying to decide how he wants to do this. He might have been able to get a creep tumor, but no. Not able to pull it off there. Inject, good timing by Hansl, getting double extractor at this point and hopping on up. Here he comes again. Norman's going for it, man. KDR charge being thrown down, and he gets another drone kill. And is he going to live? Hop down? Hops down. Wow, Norman Reapus. I mean, all right, so this is the Midrank Madness game. This is not professional level, so I mean, do we want to give Hall of Fame status to Reapers that aren't at the pro level? I don't know. I don't know if we do, to be entirely honest. Let me know in the comments if you think Norman Reapus here deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. 4 drone kills is nothing to laugh about. That is dead impressive for a Reaper in Legacy of the Void. I mean, it's just they're not as good as they used to be. Speedlings are a problem. Queens, oh my gosh, is he going to get another kill? He might get another kill just by waiting. Norman! 2, 3, 4. Good stutter step and getting... No, he very smartly jumps on down there instead of allowing the Lings to kill him. He almost got another drone kill, but he did delay the hatchery. Beautiful stuff. He scouts the roaches. He sees the composition that Hansl is going for here. That Hansl, he's so hot right now. Glial Reconstitution coming up for Hansl, but it's 40 to 36 Harvesters. That 4 worker discrepancy is entirely due to Norman Reapus. Norman Reapus? Is that what I said it was? Yes, Norman Reapus. Overseer scouting him out. Overseer checking to make sure these rocks have not been knocked down, as that is something that happens. And a drop coming up from Apotat. Apotat. I want to say apostate, but there's no S's. So, Apotat? I don't know. Dropping some Marines, looking like Polt, trying to kill those Marines with these landed, trying to kill that Overlord with those landed Marines. Stimming forward and going after the hatchery. There is a queen here, but she's going to die pretty quickly unless she runs away, and she does. The Marines decide to chase. Never mind. Gets the creep tumor, tries to stutter step towards getting the hatch. Those Lings are going to die. And if you focus down the hatch, you might be able to get it. I don't know if you want to fight these roaches, though, Apotat. Not doing too poorly for himself. Again, having stim is very nice. He does force a cancel on the hatchery. Apotat looking good. Looking good. Picking up, boosting the main base, saying there's no defense in here. The roaches show up, though. They have Glow Reconstitution. They're ready to go. They're ready to rock. This is a lot of roach. This is a lot of roach, Apotat. Run. Good job. Good job picking up, getting out of there a little bit later than probably Polt would have done. But again, this is Midrank Madness. It's not something at professional level, but good instincts nonetheless by Apotat. So what does Apotat have? We haven't been paying much attention to him. He still has Norman Reapus running around. He's checking for a 4th base, possibly, I guess. There are 6 medevacs, couple tanks, Marines, nothing too insane. Roach Ravager out of Hansl. So nothing too crazy about this game so far, but we'll have to see how this works out. Corrosive Biles not hitting anything. Oh boy, yeah, run. Just run. There you go. Somebody said I should say fly, you fools, when medevacs need to retreat. But I like run. I don't know what it is. Just something primal about going run. Run. It reminds me of Day 9. I think Day 9 used to say that on his Dayline dailies quite a bit. Double Evolution Chamber on the way for Hansl. He got a really quick lair, but doesn't seem to be rushing towards Hive anytime soon. It's only 36 workers for Hansl. He's only lost 5 drones. What are you doing? He's making huge armies for defense that it seems overkill. That's the thing. That is the trick for Zerg, is making just enough army for defense that you don't die, but you don't sacrifice your worker count to do it. It is tricky. I mean, I'm going to empathize with Hansl here just a little bit. This is not something that I'm super great at. I think a lot of Zerg players struggle with it, knowing exactly how to make to stay alive so they can get their economy up. But I mean, when it's 52 to 41 total harvesters, it's a problem. It is a problem for our Zergy friend here. +1/+1 on the way for the Roaches and the Ravagers, which will make them a little bit more effective. Marines do not have any upgrades yet. Is there even an engineering bay? No, there's not. Picking up, preparing to move out for battle is Apotat. Again, Norman Reapus with his 4 kills, just chilling over here. No reason to go in there and die. Maybe a drone will wander over and get killed again. Scouting this area out is Hansl. I like the Overlord spread by Hansl. He should know anytime an attack is coming. Although sneaking into this little blind spot. Oh, look at this. No. Just sneaking through that spot the Overlords were not covering. Just absolutely sneaking his way in. Good scan forward, killing creep tumors. Very Polt-esque here in the tanks landing. A little bit too far away. Marines get out. Corrosive Biles doing something there. Nothing too insane. Roaches hitting splash damage all over the place on these tanks. Tanks doing extra damage to them because they are armored. Switching up to Ravagers, which do not take extra damage from tanks as they are not armored, which is something they're planning on changing possibly in an update to Legacy of the Void. So here we go. Ravagers, Roaches, going for it. Tanks on the ground. Not sure how much that matters. Good dodge. Losing a couple medevacs, though. And you can't overextend with your tanks. You can't do that. You got to stay within the range of the tanks because these Marines cannot handle this many Roaches and Ravagers. But man, Corrosive Biles landing. Are all the tanks going to die? All the ones on the high ground do. There's still one on the low ground that is shelling away. 5 kills on it. and causing the roaches to trail flames of glory. But the Marines, again, you got to stay in range of those tanks. You just can't go straight Marine against Roach Ravager. It just doesn't not work out. You got to get some Marauders in there. At least you got to have incredible upgrades to pull that off. And right now, +1/+1 is on its way, but it's not completed yet. And +2/+2 is on the way for Hansl. Hansl, do you have any workers yet? 58 to 48, still not really getting up to that worker count he needs. Unfortunately for him. Any sign of a hive? No? Nope. Nothing of the like, just going Roach Ravager, which we've talked about. If you get stuck on Roach Ravager as a Zerg player, you're going to have a hard time against Terran, because eventually the tank count gets high enough, the Marine count and Marauder count gets high enough, the upgrades are good enough that your Roach Ravager is not good enough to stand up to it. Armory on the way for additional upgrades for Apotat's units, for that +2/+2 that he really wants to start here. Eventually, just going so many Marines, though. He has 2 Marauders, but 40 Marines. And really, no aggression from Hansl at all. He's pretty much sat back on his side of the base. He didn't send any Lings out, really. Norman Reapus. Oh, Norman. You going to get more drone kills, Norman. Norman. Oh, my gosh. Norman got a drone kill. Norman. No! Norman! Norman. Those are not all his drone kills. He got 5. I think he got 5 drone kills before he finally got taken down by the Swarm. That is pretty good. Again, let me know in the comments if Norman Reapus deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I'm leaning towards yes. If this was an Into the Void, I might say, so what? But I mean, this is Midrank Madness. This is pretty good. And this isn't just gold either. I'm not sure if you can tell, but anyway, Liberators chasing away. There are some flying tanks, which also might go away in a later update to Legacy of the Void. Corrosive Vials being thrown on down, and I missed everything. That's a bummer. That is a bummer for Hansl. He wanted to catch a Liberator or a Medevac or something, but couldn't quite pull it off. Marines, Liberators setting up shop. There it is, setting shop forward. Corrosive Vials trying desperately to kill the... Got 1 Liberator. That's good. That's good. Some pretty good stutter step micro from Hansl here, too. Amazing concave. Corrosive Vials landing. You really don't want to try to hit the bio. Try to hit the Medevacs and the Liberators and the tanks if you can, as they're a little bit more stationary. But, trying to morph Ravagers on the front door. Good hits on Corrosive Vials there, though. Apotat forgetting to dodge that time. Medevacs getting out of the way there, too. It's 162 to 134 total supply. Apotat has a 20-worker lead on his opponent. Again, Corrosive Vials landing. Apotat very, very brilliantly backing up as best as he can. Pretty good angle here from Hansl, though. And the tank fire, once again, a bit of a problem. Any upgrades on these tanks at all? No. Nope. And trying to find a place where he can attack here is Hansl. Not going well for him. Not really going well. Apotat has a 4th base now. No sign of a 4th at all for Hansl. It's just what happens when you overproduce units in the early game and don't do anything with them. Did no damage with them to Apotat. Now he's down in worker count, he's down in base count, and his income is definitely not even with his opponents. I mean, it's not too bad. Actually, surprisingly, more even than I expected it to be. Overseers chasing this army, getting shot in the face by a Marine with +1/+1. Soon to have +2/+2. There is a Hive now for Hansl, so he's going for that Hive tech, which could be useful. I mean, against this very Marine-heavy composition, Ultras would be pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Double Liberators being pumped out by Apotat. I can't say that name. Just attacking here is Hansl, not worrying about much. Corrosive Vials landing, getting some hits there, but not really killing Medevacs is the problem here. I guess he's killed 6, which is pretty good. But the Corrosive Vials just really aren't hitting for Hansl. Unfortunately, he's taking tank fire. Way too much tank fire. 17 kills. 17 on that, 18 on that siege tank. Just laying waste to the Zerg threat right now. Moving up again, trying to see what they can see. And alright, creep tumors are dying here. The Destructible is going to go down as well. And that is some nice Corrosive Vial. Killing a tank, killing a couple Medevacs, but knocking down the Destructible. And it kind of sinks back into the ground. I don't think I realized it did that. Anyway, Liberator not even going into defender mode. A couple Marines getting acid salivated to death. That's got to be a tough way to die, getting dissolved like that. I mean, just... that is bad feelings all the way around. More and more Corrosive Vials being tossed on down, and again, not really coming close to hitting anything. There was one of those that was very impressive indeed, but I don't know, continuing to march on up here. Some roaches, some ravagers, and landing. No! There we go. Tanks going down. Ravagers and roaches trying to make this thing work, but as I said, we are past that magical point where Roach Ravager is viable against Terran. Continuing to produce roaches as Hansl has really no intent to tech up to anything at this point. He has the hive, but what structures does he have? Nothing. He has nothing that is tier 3, which is a huge problem. As +3/+3 is now coming up for Apotat. It's 153 to 112 total supply. The roach is getting right on top of these Marines. A little bit overstimmed here. Getting the tank, and everybody on the ground might actually die here. The Liberators are a huge problem for Hansl, but I think he's got this ground war possibly covered. The Marines taking down that Queen very quickly. An Extractor going to die. A lot of drones under assault here too. More and more roaches in production. Just Roach Ravager, Roach Ravager, Roach Ravager. Hansl seems a little bit stuck. A little bit stuck, you guys. More and more Crucibles being tossed down. Getting a Liberator. That's good. How about another one? Can we get another one? No. Not going to happen. Continuing to march around, and Crucibles, they're catching one Liberator. This one with 3 kills. The reinforcing Marines do show up. The Liberator does get taken down. And Hansl barely clinging on for dear life right now. Might be able to clean this attack out, and he does. And he does. These reinforcing units coming up are not doing themselves any favor by trickling in 2 or 3 at a time. They need to regroup. They need to be in a bigger group than just 2 or 3. For this to really work. Crucibles not catching anything there, but taking out some Marines very nicely. But fully upgraded Marines are nothing to joke about. And look at this, just Apotat throwing units into the meat grinder, but slowly whittling down that Zerg force as well, which is exactly what he needs to do. More and more roaches in production. Apotat is floating a lot of money. That Liberator does end up falling. Any sign of +3/+3 for the roaches and Ravagers? No. No, there is not. Apotat continuing to push forward. He does not care. His entire army's not here. He's going to win this thing with a handful of Marines, a tank, and a few medevacs. Is all he's really going for. The tank ends up falling. So here's a pro tip that we've seen from professionals. Use your medevacs to pick up your tanks that are in trouble. Pick them up, move them back, like up to this spot. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, Apotat is in favor of the... And that's it. In favor of the stream a few units at a time up here. But anyway, Hansl rage quits. Apotat is victorious, and that's it for this game. Terran player wins. Does not leave the game, though, so we're going to go ahead and turn off our sound real quick. Maybe follow him around, and we'll just wrap things up. So great job by Apotat. Again, floating a ton of money, but he had the worker count over Hansl. Did amazing job with the harassment. Ended up killing 11 drones, which isn't that much, but when your opponent only has 40... That's a pretty big percentage. Pretty big percentage, in my personal opinion. Yeah, he just wants to keep killing stuff, so I will not begrudge him that. So again, well done by Apotat. Hansl just kind of got stuck on about 30 or 40 workers. Never really got higher than that, unfortunately for him. And that was the difference between winning and losing. Was the economy was never really there. He overmade units. He did not use them to harass. He never really crossed halfway on this map. Never really assaulted or harassed Apotat at all. Did not kill any SCVs. Did get the Reaper. Again, Norman Reapus died. Killed 200 Marines. 15 medevacs is a good number of medevacs to kill. There are only 5 remaining for Apotat, but it just came down to upgrades. It just came down to worker count. Really got stuck on 3 bases in a 17-minute game. That's not going to work in Legacy of the Void at all. All right, so that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly mid-rank madness. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.